asking me about secret homosexuality.
So should people be aware cameras are on? Like cameras are
Jaden
on?
Smith is gay. His first lover was Tyler, the Creator.
Life. I just want to say Tyler, the Creator, is the best friend in the world, and I love him so much. And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my mother boyfriend, and he's been my mother boyfriend my whole life. Tyler, the Creator, is my boyfriend. It's true.
Orlando Brown just stirred up serious chatter, putting a spotlight on long-running rumors about Jaden Smith's private life. For years, people have whispered and picked apart little moments, hinting that Jaden might be living more quietly about certain parts of himself, and now some voices online are acting like there could be more to the story. At first, when these claims started popping up, most fans brushed it off as nothing but random talk, but now the conversation is getting louder, and some are starting to question if there's anything real behind it. When you look back at how Will and Jada chose to raise their kids with their very open and unconventional style, some people argue that nothing would be too surprising in that household. There have even been moments brought up again, like clips where Will showed affection toward Jaden in ways that sparked debate online, including a few instances people called uncomfortable on public platforms. While some see it as harmless family behavior, others keep pointing at it like it means something deeper, and that's where the controversy keeps growing. That alone had people connecting dots fast, so when rumors about Jaden Smith being on the down low started spreading, a lot of fans weren't even shocked. Some were quick to say it felt expected, throwing around that saying like father, like son, as they started digging into long-running claims about Will Smith's own private life. Things really escalated when brother Bilal, who says he was once Will Smith's personal assistant and a close friend for decades, stepped into the spotlight with bold claims during an interview with Tasha K. He spoke openly about his experiences, suggesting that Will wasn't exactly who the public believed him to be, which instantly sent social media into a frenzy. According to Bilal, there was one moment that stuck with him, something he claimed he walked into by accident while working on set. He described opening a dressing room that belonged to Dwayne Martin and allegedly seeing a situation he insists he was never meant to witness. Now, to be clear, these are claims that have been heavily debated and denied, but that hasn't stopped people from talking. For context, Dwayne Martin and Will Smith go back ways, especially from their time connected to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and many have pointed out their close friendship over the years. Still, all of this remains in the realm of allegations and online discussion, but the buzz around it just keeps getting louder. Brother Bilal didn't just make those claims and fade away, not at all. Even after Will and Jada reportedly hit him with a cease and desist in record time, he came right back and stood firm on everything he said. He even suggested that the quick response only happened because, in his view, they were trying to shut things down fast.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
On the other hand, Will's team wasted no time pushing back, calling the entire story completely fabricated and unequivocally false, making it clear they weren't backing down. Jada also stepped in publicly during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, where she dismissed the situation as nothing more than a money grab, saying Bilal was upset over a business deal tied to Will's memoir that didn't go his way.
But the situation doesn't stop there, because when you look closer at details from the full interview, things start to take another turn, and that's where even more questions begin to pop up. Brother Bilal didn't stop at just one story either. He kept adding more claims that pushed things even further into the spotlight. He also alleged that Will had a connection with Benny Medina, even saying he personally saw a moment where Will kissed him on the lips, which instantly sparked even more online chatter and debate. He went on to make even more serious accusations, claiming Will struggled with an addiction to certain adult content, specifically involving same-sex themes, and said it supposedly intensified while Will was preparing for his role in 6 Degrees of Separation, where he played a gay character. Bilal even claimed he had some kind of proof, saying he handed over photos before the interview started, though none of that has ever been publicly confirmed, and people are still questioning if it even exists. What's clear is that the Smith family responded strongly at first, with legal threats coming in fast, and then things suddenly went quiet. Since then, none of these claims have been proven, but that hasn't stopped the internet from keeping the conversation alive. Now, with other high-profile headlines grabbing attention, people online are revisiting old interviews and moments, especially that Red Table Talk episode, trying to piece things together and read between the lines. That all ties back to the dynamic between Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, especially when they sat down for that now famous Red Table Talk and opened up about their relationship. During that conversation, they spoke about having a more open approach to marriage, along with other topics that instantly got people talking across the internet. But according to how the story unfolded, that moment didn't just come out of nowhere. It followed claims made by August Alsina, which pushed everything into the public eye and forced the conversation to happen. That's when Jada addressed what she called an entanglement, a word that quickly became a viral talking point. Still, not everyone agreed with that label. Even during the discussion, Will made it clear he saw it differently, and August himself had previously described it as a much deeper relationship. He claimed he gave his full commitment to Jada, even suggesting that he had Will's approval at the time, which only added more layers to an already complicated situation. A lot of people weighed in on that situation, but one voice that really cut through the noise was D.L. Hughley. He didn't hold back at all, openly criticizing Jada and questioning the nature of her relationship with August Alsina, especially given the circumstances surrounding it. DL argued that the situation went deeper than just a casual relationship, pointing out the age difference and the fact that August had a close connection to the family through Jaden. He also brought attention to the timing, saying it happened during a period when August was dealing with serious personal struggles, which made the situation feel even more complicated in his eyes.
Need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of now, like I'm trying to find is like this is I like him, right? So all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having a with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him.
For context, August had been spending a lot of time around the Smith family and was introduced through Jaden during a difficult chapter in his life, where he was open about facing major health and emotional challenges. Because of that, DL and others felt the situation raised ethical questions, with some arguing that if the roles were reversed, the public reaction might have been very different. At the end of the day, these are strong opinions and interpretations, but they've continued to shape how people view that entire situation, keeping the debate alive online. When all of this first came out, a lot of people didn't fully grasp how serious the situation might be, so the blame quickly got thrown onto August. He was labeled everything from a home wrecker to worse, with many rushing to judge without really knowing the full story behind his life. But when you start digging into August's past, things take on a completely different tone. In 2020, he released a docuseries called The Rise of August Alsina, where he opened up about painful experiences from his early years, including going through serious trauma involving someone he said was close to his family at the time. He shared that he tried to confide in his mother, Sheila Blair, hoping for support and privacy during a vulnerable moment. Instead, according to his account, that trust was broken when the information was shared with others in their community, which only made things harder for him to process. When you connect these pieces, it adds more depth to how people now view his actions and decisions later in life, and why some feel the situation deserved a more careful and understanding response. In that sit-down, some viewers felt like August's past struggles were clearly affecting how he moved, and there were claims online suggesting Jada may have taken advantage of that situation, which allegedly caused tension between Jaden and August. People started saying the friendship between them didn't survive everything that happened, adding even more drama to the story.
Ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a shakedown, a money shakedown that didn't work. We're going to take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. So that's actionable, so we're gonna roll with that.
From there, rumors began spreading that Jaden's relationship with his mom became strained, with some describing his reaction in Gen Z terms as a full crash out, meaning he started pulling away and trying to find his own path. Reports and speculation painted a picture of him seeking independence, experimenting with different lifestyles, and distancing himself from family expectations. But some observers think things may have gone a bit too far. Jaden recently showed up at the Coulda Been Love season premiere, looking calm on the surface, but one moment caught people's attention. When a reporter tried to ask him about his new Christian Louboutin collection, he suddenly walked off without answering, and that brief interaction had fans raising eyebrows and questioning what might really be going on behind the scenes. For context, Jaden has already had public tension with Ye going back to the 2022 Yeezy Season 9 show, where those White Lives Matter shirts caused major backlash. Jaden didn't stay quiet either. He went straight to Twitter and made it clear where he stood, saying he didn't care who was behind it. "If I don't feel the message, I'm out," which instantly got people talking. Some called that a justified reaction. Others saw it as over the top. But either way, it didn't stop the conversation from growing. Then things got even more confusing when clips surfaced of Jaden out in Paris, reacting wildly to the weather, acting shocked by something as simple as hail. And that moment had fans seriously questioning what was going on with him. And that's where things really start to spiral, because fans didn't just brush those moments off as random anymore. People online began putting everything side by side, from his public appearances to his interviews, trying to figure out if there was something deeper going on behind the scenes. Some pointed out that Jaden has always had a unique personality and way of expressing himself, which can easily be misunderstood when clips are taken out of context. Others, though, weren't so quick to dismiss it, saying the pattern of behavior felt different this time, especially with how abruptly he's been reacting in certain situations. Then there's the bigger picture that keeps getting pulled back into the conversation: his upbringing in one of Hollywood's most talked about families, with constant attention, non-stop headlines, and years of public scrutiny.
Oh, they tried to extort you before?
Well, it's based around this person's idea that they in some way were doing business around Will's book, and that they spent money or what have you, and that they needed to be compensated. So he already tried to do this money shakedown. Will was willing to give him a certain amount or what have you.
People are now debating whether all that pressure could be playing a role in how he's moving today. Either way, the speculation isn't slowing down anytime soon, and every new clip or appearance just adds more fuel to the conversation. And just when people thought the conversation couldn't get any louder, more old clips and interviews started resurfacing, adding even more layers to the situation. Fans began revisiting Jaden's past statements, where he spoke about identity, freedom, and not wanting to be boxed in. And now those words are being looked at in a completely different light. Some supporters are stepping in, saying he's simply been ahead of his time and unafraid to challenge norms, which can easily be misread by the public. But others aren't convinced, arguing that the sudden shifts in behavior, mixed with all the resurfaced rumors, feel like too much to ignore. At the same time, the internet keeps dragging everything back to the Smith family dynamic, with people questioning how much of Jaden's journey has been shaped by what he grew up around. Every interview, every headline, every viral moment is now being dissected piece by piece, and it's turning into a non-stop cycle of speculation. And with more attention building by the day, it's clear this story isn't fading out quietly.
So I'm hanging out at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as I do when I go out there. And, I'm in Will's dressing room. There's a bunch of guys from Philly or whatever the case may be. And, Benny Medina hollers down the hall, "Will, I'm going to come see you in a minute." So, so he comes up there in a few minutes and he pokes his lips out like he's going to kiss Will, right? And I'm like, oh man, I gotta beat the shit out of this. Do we pack him? Like, all right, well, I'll just wait, because I'm, I don't know this culture, right? And Will kissed this guy on the lip.
Now, the spotlight is getting even brighter, and every move Jaden makes is being watched 10 times harder than before. Whether it's a short clip, a quick interview, or even just how he reacts in public, people are analyzing everything like it's part of a bigger puzzle. At the same time, there's a growing divide in how people see him. Some are defending him, saying he's just expressing himself and living freely without caring about expectations, while others are convinced there's something deeper going on that hasn't been fully addressed yet. What keeps pulling people back in is how all these moments seem to connect, from the old family headlines to recent public appearances, making it feel like one long story that's still unfolding. And with social media moving fast, every small moment can turn into a huge talking point overnight. Right now, nobody has clear answers, but that hasn't stopped the theories from spreading. If anything, the mystery around it all is exactly what's keeping people locked in and waiting to see what happens next. And now, the conversation is hitting a point where people aren't just reacting anymore. They're picking sides. Some are calling out the constant speculation, saying it's unfair to keep building narratives without real proof, while others are doubling down, convinced that all these moments can't just be random coincidences. At the center of it all is Jaden, moving how he wants while the world watches every step, every word, every reaction. That kind of spotlight can twist even the smallest moment into something way bigger than it really is. And that's exactly what seems to be happening right now. Meanwhile, the Smith family name keeps getting pulled back in the headlines, with old controversies mixing in with new ones, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Every time things start to quiet down, something else pops up and pulls everyone right back into the drama. At this point, the line between fact and speculation is getting harder to see.
You need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
But one thing is clear, the attention isn't going anywhere, and the story keeps evolving with every new moment that hits the internet. And right now, it feels like everything is building toward a bigger moment, because the internet isn't letting this story breathe at all. Every new sighting, every old clip, every rumor gets pulled back into the spotlight, and people are treating it like pieces of one huge puzzle they're determined to solve. Some are starting to question whether this level of attention is doing more harm than good, especially when so much of it is based on assumptions and secondhand claims. Others, though, are locked in deeper than ever, convinced that sooner or later, something major is going to come out that explains everything. At the same time, Jaden continues to move in his own lane, not really addressing the noise directly, which only makes people talk even more. That silence, for some, is just him staying unbothered, but for others, it's seen as adding even more mystery to an already confusing situation. One thing's for sure, the story hasn't hit its final chapter yet, and with the way things are unfolding, people are watching closely, waiting for the next twist to drop at any moment. And now, people are starting to ask a bigger question. What actually comes next in all of this? Because at this point, it's not just about old rumors or resurfaced clips anymore. It's about how this constant spotlight might shape what Jaden does moving forward. Some are watching to see if he'll finally speak out and address everything head on, especially with how loud the online conversation has gotten.
Sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her.
Others think he'll keep doing what he's been doing, staying quiet and letting the noise pass while focusing on his own path. At the same time, the pressure around the Smith family name isn't easing up either, with every headline adding more weight to an already intense level of public attention. It's like no matter what happens, the narrative keeps growing, pulling in past moments and mixing them with whatever's happening now. Right now, everything feels like it's on edge, like one statement, one interview, or even one unexpected moment could shift the entire conversation overnight. And with millions of eyes still locked in, you already know the second something happens, it's gonna explode across the internet instantly. And honestly, the longer this all drags on, the more intense the spotlight becomes, because people aren't letting anything slide anymore. Every detail, no matter how small, is getting picked apart, replayed, and turned into a full-blown debate online. At the same time, there's a growing sense that the narrative has taken on its own life. What started as scattered rumors and opinions has now turned into this massive storyline that keeps evolving with every new post, every reaction, every resurfaced clip. Jaden, on the other hand, still hasn't stepped in to directly shut anything down or confirm what people are saying, and that silence keeps the speculation alive. For some, it's a sign he's unbothered and staying focused, but for others, it just adds another layer of mystery that keeps the conversation going strong. One thing is clear though, this situation has gone way beyond a simple headline. It's turned into an ongoing saga that people are watching in real time. And with how fast things are moving, the next twist could hit at any second and change everything again.
With Jaden Smith, who designed Easy Footwear with Ye. What are y'all cooking up? I guess we'll never find out.
And now, the situation is reaching a point where even casual observers are getting pulled in, because it's everywhere you look. From timelines to comment sections, everyone seems to have a take, and the conversation just keeps looping back with new angles every single day. What's making it even more intense is how people are starting to treat every small moment like it's a hidden message. A look, a pause, a walk-off, suddenly it all becomes evidence in the eyes of the internet, even when there's no clear explanation behind it.
At the same time, others are pushing back harder than ever, calling out how quickly speculation can spiral and turn into something way bigger than reality. They're reminding people that not everything needs a deeper meaning, even if the headlines try to make it seem that way. Still, that hasn't slowed things down one bit. If anything, the mix of opinions, debates, and constant attention is keeping this story alive and evolving. And right now, it feels like it could shift in any direction at any moment. And at this stage, it's not even just about what's true or false anymore. It's about perception. And that's where things get messy. Because once the internet locks onto a narrative, it can be almost impossible to separate facts from assumptions. And that's exactly what's happening here. You've got one side treating every rumor like it's already confirmed, stacking up clips and quotes like they tell the full story. Then you got another side saying this is exactly how things get blown out of proportion, with people connecting dots that might not even belong together. Meanwhile, Jaden is still moving quietly through all of it, not feeding into the noise, not jumping in to explain, just letting the world talk. And that approach is keeping everyone guessing, because the less he says, the more people want answers. Right now, the situation feels like it's stuck in this loop where attention keeps building without any real resolution. And until something concrete comes out, this whole story's gonna keep spinning, pulling more people in with every new headline and viral moment. And now, the conversation is starting to shift again, because people are realizing this isn't just about one person anymore. It's about how fast narratives can take over in the public eye. What began as scattered claims and reactions has turned into a full-blown storyline that keeps growing, whether there's new information or not. Some are beginning to question the role social media plays in all of this, pointing out how quickly clips can go viral without full context, and how easy it is for speculation to feel like fact when it's repeated enough times. Others, though, are still locked into every update, convinced that all this attention must be leading somewhere big.
Dog, it's hailing in Paris, bro. Ice is falling. It was cold? I knew it was cold, bro. Ice is bouncing off of me. Dog, do you see this? Rain doesn't, bro, it hurts a little bit. Bro, what's happening? What's going on?
At the center, Jaden continues to stay unpredictable, and that unpredictability is exactly what keeps people watching. Whether he speaks out or stays silent, either move is gonna spark a whole new wave of reactions and theories. Right now, it feels like the story is sitting right on the edge of another major moment. And with the way things have been building, it wouldn't take much for everything to shift again and send the internet into another frenzy. All of that, mixed with other public moments people have called crash outs over the years, has kept the conversation around Jaden going strong. Some online have questioned his mental health and lifestyle choices, while others push back, saying it's unfair to label someone based on clips and rumors alone. Now, with these latest claims about him possibly living on the down low, the internet is going into overdrive, trying to connect everything together. Some are brushing it off as nothing more than recycled gossip tied to past controversies, while others are convinced there's more behind it, especially with Orlando Brown speaking out so boldly. The truth is, none of this has been confirmed, and a lot of what's being said is still speculation. But that hasn't stopped people from debating it non-stop, because once a story like this catches fire, it spreads fast and keeps evolving. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments and say what you really think about everything going on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see it.